Donald Trump keeps on giving our generals and admirals illegal orders. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you follow an illegal order, you will be held responsible for committing that crime, despite the fact that you are supposed to follow orders. It is up to you to differentiate between legal orders and illegal orders. And just because somebody is too stupid to know that the order they have been given is illegal does not excuse them from the crime. And what we're starting to see is, the literal head of the U.S. military's Southern Command is stepping down. And he's doing it because he is afraid he's going to get charged with war crimes for following through with Donald Trump's illegal war with Venezuela. And it's not just him. The fucking Marine colonel who's been in the field for 24 years. He resigned, and he said that other personnel should quit because of illegal orders. This is what we're moving into, guys. On top of that, we got a lot of stuff to cover. We're gonna cover Trump confirming that we will begin the ground invasion of Venezuela, and Nicolas Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, so-called leader of Venezuela. Don't get me wrong, Maduro's a piece of shit. He's not the fucking president. He's a dictator. But why the fuck does America have anything to do with Venezuela? Why the fuck do I have to send young boys and girls to go fight and die in Venezuela? Maduro put together a fucking militia, a million strong, and they're preparing for an amphibious assault on their land. They got like insane weaponry all propped up on the shore, waiting for the fucking Marines to come out of those boats like it's D-Day just to get chewed apart. So Trump confirms that, and then Trump also confirms that we have CIA already in Venezuela undercover. So he just blew the cover of all of our CIA agents. We're covering the new Arc de Trump that is going to be built in Washington, D.C., just like Hitler's Ark. He wants to make like the big fucking Ark. And just so you know, throughout all of history, arcs are supposed to be shows of power, and it's designed to make up for dictators and emperors' micro-penises. And as we know, Donald Trump, he has a fat chode of a micro-penis, and he can't get hard and he can't come because he's an 80-year-old decrepit, decaying, morbidly obese, fascist piece of shit. Then we're going to cover a little bit of the Zohran Cuomo debate where Curtis Sliwa stood there like a fucking dipshit. But there's even a point in this debate where Cuomo asks Zohran to condemn Hassan Piker. He actually asks him to condemn Hamas and Hassan. He asks him that in the same sentence, which is insane and Islamophobic. And then last but not least, we're going to cover how Zohran is pretty much a shoo-in, guaranteed to win this to the point where even Fox News has to fucking admit it. So, without further ado, let me give you some shameless plugs. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, because this is real independent media and I have no funding, which means that this entire organization is propped up by you, the viewer, there's a couple of ways you can help me out. You can buy merch like the Democratic Socialist poster or the Valenti Videos mug. I've got a new merch line coming out next week, so be ready for that. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member. You can get access to member-only content and some pretty cool emotes. You can become a patron on Patreon to get access to the Patreon-only content, and you could use the 40% off discount code for Ground News located in the description below. Big shouts out to every single person who has ever donated to this channel. You guys provide me with the life that I live. Without you guys, this doesn't exist. Without you guys, I can't do this. So every dollar goes a long way. I really do appreciate every single one of you. But without further ado, let's jump right into the fucking nightmare news. Head of the United States military Southern Command is stepping down, officials say. Admiral Alvin Halsey is leaving less than a year into his tenure, and as the Pentagon escalates attack boats in the Caribbean Sea. Here he is. The military commander overseeing the Pentagon's escalating attacks against boats in the Caribbean Sea that the Trump regime says are smuggling drugs said on Thursday that he was stepping down. Thank you for becoming a loyalist. Thank you for the $5. The officer, Admiral Alvin Halsey, is leaving his job as head of the United States Southern Command, which oversees all operations in Central and South America, even as the Pentagon has rapidly built up some 10,000 forces in the region in what it says is a major counter-drug and counter-terrorism operation. So we have 10,000 troops, I think in Puerto Rico, practicing the amphibious assault of Venezuela, like practicing it with the boats and running drills, preparing for this. And I do want to point out something really weird. I don't know if you guys seen Avatar. We've all seen Avatar with the blue people, not with the blue arrow, the blue people. The war that the big scary general guy like is always referencing is the American war with Venezuela, right? They keep on referencing like, you think this is bad? You don't know what it was like in the jungles of Venezuela. And I like to point out that that was good writing because Venezuela has tens of millions of people in it and a thick motherfucking jungle like Vietnam. Home field advantage always plays a huge role. Morale plays a huge role. They're defending their own land from a foreign invader. I don't know if this is something that we could fucking win, especially considering the fact that the United States military hasn't won a single war since World War II, which we also barely participated in, and that war was primarily won by the Soviet Union. We have B-2 bombers circling Venezuela. It's an insane threat, and it's an insane show of force, bro. B-2 bombers circling Venezuela. Now, again, I want to remind you, this has nothing to do with drugs. This has everything to do with oil and gold. Donald Trump said himself, I think like 5 years ago, that like if we're going to invade Venezuela, we might as well take all of their oil. Venezuela has the most oil in all of South America. That is what this is for. And as you know, Donald Trump has been turning away from green energy and renewable energy. He's obsessed with coal, and oil. Drill, baby, drill. Drill into my ass, Putin. Oh, that's, I can't believe I just did that. But anyway, let's keep on fucking reading. It was unclear why Admiral Halsey is suddenly departing. Really? The guy in charge of bombing Venezuela. It's unclear why you're a fucking idiot. Less than a year into what is typically a 3-year job, and in the midst of the biggest operation in his 37-year career. I want you to think about this, guys. An admiral, the top admiral for South America's command, has been in the field for 37 years. He gets this job, and less than 1 year in, under Trump, he goes, nah, fuck this, I'm out. Nah, fuck this, I'm out. If this is not a huge wake-up call to every single bootlicking MAGA chud out there, that even the United States military considers this guy to be a fucking threat, if this isn't a wake-up call, then nothing is going to wake you up. At this point, you know it's fascist, and you're on board, which is why I'll never have any sympathy for you. Anything terrible that fucking happens to you, I'll be fucking cheering, because at this point you have to know what you're cheering for. You're cheering for more war. You're cheering for less health care. You're cheering for no due process, concentration camps, and the Gestapo. At this point, to be in support of Donald Trump is to be a fascist. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's plenty of people who voted for Donald Trump because they were duped. And maybe it took them longer than us, but then they fucking realized, oh my God, this guy's a fash. And they abandoned ship. Those people, more power to them. Get in line, join the fight. But to look around now and to be in support, you're a fucking fash, bro. Get on your knees and throat my shit. But one current and one former U.S. official, both of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss personal matters, said that Admiral Halsey had raised concern about the mission and the attacks on alleged drug boats. In a statement on social media, Defense Secretary and Fox News host and alcoholic Pete Hegseth made no mention of any friction with his 4-star commander. Quote, "On behalf of the Department of War," said Mr. Hegseth, using the name of the department he now prefers, "we extend our deepest gratitude to Admiral Alvin Halsey for his more than 37 years of distinguished service to our nation as he plans to retire at year's end." Nor did Admiral Halsey publicly voice any policy objections, urging his command's 1,200 military service members and civilians in a statement, "Keep charging." We have another quote here from officials in Pentagon. It says, "Prior to Trump, I can't think of a combatant commander who left his or her post early ever." Representative Adam Smith. So, our military leaders understand that the Fuhrer is a maniacal, genocidal, warmongering, fucking psychopath, morbidly obese, fascist fuck. So they are starting to abandon the military that they took an oath to. And again, I'd like to tell every single service member, are you excited to go fight and die in Venezuela and or Israel? Those are your options. You want to die in Venezuela or Israel? Which one, bitch? And the thing is, I used to respect our military. I used to love our military. Not anymore. No, fuck you. Now you're being ordered to invade us. Now you're being ordered to occupy us. Fire on us. If you think any of us are gonna thank you for your service ever again, you got another thing coming. You're gonna get a fucking spit loogie in your face for not refusing direct orders like this fucking legend. This is who you should be looking up to. This is it. This is all you should be looking up to. Moving on, we have another high-ranking general who quit. Marine colonel who resigned because of Trump says personnel should question, quote, illegal orders. Doug Krugman couldn't swear to, quote, follow a commander-in-chief who seemed so willing to disregard the Constitution, he wrote in a Washington Post op-ed. A former U.S. Marine Corps colonel and combat veteran of 24 years resigned in late September, now saying he did so because of President Donald Trump and, quote, concern for our country's future. In an op-ed titled, quote, I resigned from the military because of Trump, published in the Washington Post on Thursday, Doug Krugman noted that, quote, no commander-in-chief is perfect, but he said, nevertheless, he believed that the previous presidents took their oaths to the Constitution seriously. During an in-person meeting where hundreds of military leaders were summoned to a Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia, Trump outlined his vision for using the military for domestic purposes to, quote, fight the enemy within. Now, the enemy within is you. The enemy within, thank you for becoming a loyalist, Noah. The enemy within is black people, brown people, Muslims, Jews, non-white Christians, anybody and everybody who does not get on their hands and knees to cradle Donald Trump's cock and throat his shaft, just like every single MAGA voter. I want you to understand, Mr. MAGA voter watching this, I do think you're an inferior being, okay? I don't think you should be thrown in prison. I don't think you should have less rights than me. But I do think I am superior to you in every single way because A, you were stupid enough to vote for a fascist, and B, you might still support a fascist. So yeah, no, you're an inferior cretin. You're a fucking piece of shit vermin. I do mean that from every fiber in my being. So, our military is starting to resign. Meanwhile, I want to talk about how Trump is confirming that we're going to do a boots-on-the-ground invasion of Venezuela. Get a look at this.
What's the next step in this war on cartels, and are you considering options, are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
We are certainly looking at land now. So yeah, no, that means they are looking at invading Venezuela and bombing Venezuela. Yay, more bombs. Hey, no new wars, right, MAGA voter? Peaceful dove, right, MAGA voter? Oh, he's going to lower the prices of grocery and undivorce your parents and make those gay thoughts disappear, right, MAGA voter? Right? Go to the dentist, you toothless hick.
We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. You know, they have a lot of money.
They're not very expensive boats. I've seen the footage. They are fucking fishing boats. They are dinghies. And this fat fuck keeps on claiming that every boat we take out, it has enough drugs to kill 25,000 Americans. So technically, I've saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize. I should shove the Nobel Peace Prize up your fucking ass. Okay? So maybe then you can feel some pleasure, you goddamn fruitcake.
Very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives.
There it is.
So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. It is rough, but if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people, these are people that are killing our population.
So a couple of things I want to point out. One, if you think any of those boats you've seen coming from Venezuela have the capability of traveling all the way to the United States of America, you're fucking sped. You're sped. Work on it. You're a fucking idiot. Okay? Second of all, we now know that 2 people that were killed in these bombs, one was Trinidadian and the other one was Colombian. Okay, and then now we know that one of these boats was from Colombia, wasn't even Venezuelan, and now, third, fucking cherry on top, we have survivors. For the first time, we bombed one of these boats, and now there's 2 survivors. And they're probably going to tell their story and come out and say, yeah, no, I'm not a drug trafficker. I'm a fisherman. I fish for a living. And I got bombed, and my legs are gone. That's what we're going to end up fucking seeing. And again, MAGA will cheer for this because they're all fucking fascists. So, moving on with more Venezuela, Donald Trump confirmed to the world that we have CIA operatives embedded in Venezuela. And I would like to say one thing. I don't understand why we send the CIA to every single South American country, not even South America, every single country. We feel like we have the right to just infiltrate elections and governments, and then we bitch and moan about Russian interference, Chinese interference. We do this. We do this, bro. Anyway, let's listen. Let's listen to Donald Trump tell the whole fucking world that we have CIA operatives under. He just blew their cover. He just blew their fucking cover.
Why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged?
You want to know what answer you give if you're the president? You go, I don't know what you're talking about, CIA in Venezuela. I haven't sent any CIA agents in Venezuela. And you say that because these are men and women who are undercover, who are probably suspect. People probably already suspect, I think this guy's a fucking spook. And then the president says, yeah, we got spooks over there. You're putting their lives in fucking danger, dude.
Well, I can't do that, but I authorize for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America.
False.
They came in through the, they came in through the border. They
False.
came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back, but that's a really bad. And they did it at a level that probably not many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
Wrong. Also, by the way, Venezuela plays a very little role in the drug trade, the flow of drugs from the southern border to the United States of America. That primarily comes in through ports of entry, and 80 to 90% of the people caught smuggling drugs into the United States from the southern border are, you guessed it, American citizens. Because guess who gets less scrutiny when they're trying to cross the border? Someone with a fucking American passport. If you really want to stop the drug trade, target the Americans who are participating in the fucking drug trade. God, he's so fucking stupid. Okay, we're gonna move away from Venezuela now onto a little bit of domestic stuff. First thing I want to show you is just, it's both stupid and hilarious. Donald Trump wants to build an ark, and at least one reporter was brave enough to point this out. Look at this shit, dude. Look at this shit.
What is this, Mr. President?
That's what he's pointing at. He's pointing at this. Just so you know, this like miniature city shit, this is the same fucking shit that Hitler did with, I forgot the name of that architect, but he had some badass architect, and he was like, Hitler was like, I want you to build things. Oh my God, I just did Trump. Hitler was like, I want you to build things that will last 1,000 years. And the guy was like, all right, I'll try. This is exactly what Hitler was. Albert Speer.
Thank you guys. Thank you all. You come this way. Thank you.
For who?
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no, I know where it is, but who's it for?
Thank you, guys.
For me. For me. Mr. President, my daughter, she's dying, and I can't afford health care, and there's no more pediatric cancer research, and my daughter is slipping away in front of me, Mr. President. Please, can I have some health care? Look at my arc. Oh, I got a hard hat. Oh, I'm so fucking bricked. Like, dude, this is our fucking president, bro. And I would like to point out the fact that arcs are always a sign of a dictator. Every time, every single time. Napoleon, the multiple different Caesars, Hitler, man. It's always a fucking arc, and it is a way to make up for their goddamn microchodes.
The Arc
It's gonna be
Trump?
beautiful. The Arc de Trump. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. So yeah, if you're just wondering where your tax dollars are going, don't worry, guys. They're going to a great cause. Building Donald Trump's Ark. The Ark of the Covenant. Oh, Mac rounds in atmosphere. All right, enough about the fat fascists. Let's start talking about our perfect and humble leader, Zohran Kwame Mamdani. Inshallah, inshallah. Last night, Zohran debated Andrew Cuomo. Technically, Curtis Sliwa was there, but I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. Our buddy took off his red beret. Shame. He had a fucking tan line under his beret because he hadn't taken it off in 30 years. I didn't know that was a beret. I thought it was like a tumor. I thought it was a tumor. But he took it clean off, and I have a couple of clips from this debate. We're not going to watch the whole debate, obviously. It was like 2 hours long. But there's some banger quotes here that Zohran dropped. This one, he must have rehearsed because it was such a banger. Listen to this.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New York...
So Cuomo, the question was like, why do you think you're experienced? And Cuomo said, he was like, if there's another pandemic, you know, like we can't have this young guy who has no experience. I have the experience. So watch this.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes? That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Oh! What I lack in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you lack in integrity, you could never make up for with experience. That is a fucking bar. A bar. A bar. There's more, bro. There's more.
Is to evict. You've heard it from Andrew Cuomo that the #1 crisis in this city, the housing crisis, the answer is to evict my wife and I. He thinks you address this crisis by unleashing my landlord's ability to raise my rent. If you think that the problem in this city is that my rent is too low, vote for him. If you know the problem in this city is that your rent is too high, vote for me.
Bar, 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 bar. And what this is, by the way, I was having a conversation. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I was having a conversation with my brother about this yesterday. And let me make a point. In the United States of America, for the past 80 years, we have been propagandized through the powers that be to fear Muslims. That's a huge thing. Fear Muslims. They're scary. They're super scary terrorists. 2, to hate socialists and communists, right? Ever since the Red Scare, to hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them. And 3, to not trust young leaders, right? We live in a gerontocracy. The majority of our leaders are fucking like 70 years old, to trust their old head experience, right? And what is Zohran? Zohran is a Muslim socialist, and he's 34 years old. Okay, he hits all 3 brackets for what we have been propagandized to fear and hate, and that's all identity politics. Honestly, and that's my thing. I fucking hate identity politics. I don't care that he calls himself a socialist. I don't care that he's a fucking Muslim. I don't care that he's fucking 34, right? I care about policy. And Zohran knew that. Zohran knew that. He said, let's hammer away a couple of things that people could focus on, right? We're going to make the buses free. We're going to have some government-run grocery stores. We're going to lower the affordability crisis, right? And through good policy, he was able to pierce through 80 years of American propaganda, 80 years of hate socialists, hate Muslims, fuck young leaders. Democrat politicians, take notes. Give us something to work with. I have things I could hold for Zohran: free bus, grocery stores, affordability. What do I have for Cuomo? What do I have? I've got, let's put 5,000 more police officers in New York City, and then a whole bunch of bullshit about him being a fucking greaseball wop. There's no there. But Mamdani understood. He said, this is what we're doing. This is my platform, and I'm going to keep on repeating it. No matter what question you ask me, I'm going to bring it back to affordability. It was fucking genius. Fucking genius.
You heard it from Andrew Cuomo that the #1 crisis in this city, the housing crisis, the answer.
And then I do find this tweet hilarious. Zohran Mamdani: universal childcare is a net benefit for the working class in New York City. Andrew Cuomo: Mamdani's experience will lead us to ruin. Curtis Sliwa: during a trip to the sewers in 1989, I was stabbed with a sai by Raphael, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's so fucking funny, dude. No, but that's the thing. Curtis Sliwa was there, and like everyone, randomly, he's like, when I got shot 5 times, I went to a parade. Like, dude, Curtis, dude, go to bed. Go to bed, bro. Just go to bed. All right, now I want to show you when Cuomo demanded Zohran Mamdani condemn Hassan Piker. This shit is fucked. Watch this. This shit is unreal. I'm going to get rid of my face so you can watch Hassan for a second. You ready? You ready?
Go ahead.
I did applaud President Trump and his administration. I think it was a great accomplishment. I hope the peace holds. The assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. The assemblyman just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code, meaning that Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state, which he has never acknowledged. That is from the river to the sea. That's why he won't denounce globalized
you're right.
So that happened, which is insanely pathetic. To have to bring up a Twitch streamer to make your point is so embarrassingly pathetic. None of these people know who Hassan Piker is, but do you really think that like what, fucking 60-year-old Jews in Brooklyn know who Hassan Piker is? And also, why the fuck does the mayor of New York City have to have a take on Israel? He's the mayor of New York City, not Tel Aviv, you fucking asshole. Jesus Christ, it's such a pathetic joke. Last thing I want to show you is why I firmly do believe it's over. I think Zohran has won already. If you watch Zohran's interview on Fox News a couple of days ago, they humanized him. They started asking him about how much he loves soccer. They're laughing with him. They're asking him questions as if he's already the mayor. It looks like Fox News has accepted reality. And now Fox is covering him with, you know, some pretty good light. Listen to this.
In New York City, self-described Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani widens his lead on former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa.
Mamdani with a fuck you. Fuck you. Mamdani with 52.
Alexis McAdams
Cuomo
takes a closer
28.
look from New York. Good evening, Alexis.
Brett, good evening. This brand new Fox News poll shows Zohran Mamdani is gaining momentum in New York City as all eyes are on the Big Apple. Polling shows this. Most voters have their minds made up at this point.
Look at this.
A quarter of Cuomo supporters
89%. Oh, Jesus.
Vote. That's the most of any candidate listed there. So meanwhile, 88% of Mamdani supporters say they are voting for him.
And guys, like, you know, the betting market, like, you can bet on this sort of shit. The betting market has Zohran at 87%. 87% of people who bet on this mayoral election are betting on Zohran. Those are motherfuckers who put money on the line. That's actually more important than polls. Those motherfuckers put money on the line.
Than against his opponents. They like him, whereas 40% of Cuomo's backers say their vote for him is against the other candidates.
And yeah, Chatter has this right. Chatter says, at this point, if Zohran doesn't win, it's interference. And you're right. At this point, if Zohran Mamdani loses this election, the election was rigged. It was rigged by Andrew Cuomo, Donald Trump, and Elon motherfucking Musk. Guaranteed. If Cuomo wins, he did not win fairly.
Mamdani could soon be the leader of the city that has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, Brett. But in that exclusive interview with Martha on Fox, he still would not call for the Hamas terrorists to disarm in Gaza.
Neither did Donald Trump. Donald Trump was asked about the Hamas who is executing these gangs that Israel funded to steal the aid. And Trump goes, well, I actually like Hamas taking out the bad guys. That's what Trump said. Why don't you get your fucking president to condemn them, bitch?
House says the 33-year-old Democratic Socialist views provide another example of how much the left has changed.
This interview proved that the Democratic Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals.
You hear that, guys? Anybody who supports Zohran Mamdani is a Hamas terrorist. Oh, what did she say? A illegal immigrant or a violent terrorist. Hey, what the fuck is your name? No Lip Levitt? I forgot your first name. Katie Levitt? I don't even know. You're a hideous Botox-filled cunt. You're the same age as me and you look 50. You were pregnant before you got married, you fucking harlot. You had to rush your marriage because God forbid some dirty slut in the Trump regime gets pregnant by a fucking 60-year-old man. You're 28, you're married to a 60-year-old man, you disgusting fucking whore.
That is who the Democrat Party is catering to.
So what's the biggest problem in New York City? Well, voters tell Fox it's still crime, followed by cost of living and lack of affordable housing. All of these are topics that we expect to hear more about tonight when the candidates take the debate stage in less than an hour, Brett.
One to watch. Alexis, thanks.
All right, so that's all I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. Let me just give you a quick, some hope here. I feel like the tide is turning. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but like for the first time in quite a long time, I'm starting to feel a lot of hope now. The walls are crumbling around Donny Boy. They really are. His own fucking people are turning on him, man. I mean, excuse me. You know who gets Medicaid and Medicare the most? Poor people in red states, rural areas. They're all fucked. The farmers are fucked, bro. What the fuck just happened? Your device will restart? What? What? But anyway, dude, the farmers are fucked. I don't know. We gave Argentina a $20 billion bailout, and then they got another $19 billion from some other nation. They got like a $40 billion bailout. And Trump goes on this crazy tariff war with China. He says we're putting 100% tariffs on China. Now, China buys soybeans from us, right? China said, fuck you, we're not buying your soybeans anymore. Guess where we are going to buy them from? Argentina. So Donald Trump just got literally cucked, like actually cucked. He gave $20 billion to Argentina, and then Argentina makes a secret backroom deal with China and says, hey, we got all this money from America. We're going to start a soybean operation if you want to trade. And then you can cut off trade to the United States. The American soybean farmers just lost their #1 largest client, China. And the farmers are fucked. They don't even want the bailout. They want markets, you know? Anyway, we're all going to be okay because I think the tide is turning and Donald Trump is losing support at a rapid motherfucking pace. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. If you're here live, you stay. We got to make a thumbnail. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And do me one last favor. Click that video over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers